and welcome to another Purveyor of Light Photoshop quick tip. Today we've got a list of my 5 personal favorites within Photoshop. These are designed to be helpful, maybe speed up your performance a little bit, some shortcuts to make life a little easier to work within Photoshop. So let's go ahead and dive right in. The first one is how to move selections. Okay, one of the things we do all the time is we're going to make a selection. We come in, we select a tool, and we start to drag out. And look at this. I made a mistake. I made a selection that's chopping off his head. And, well, no big deal. I guess I'll have to go up to select and deselect and start over again. And I go, okay, I did it wrong again. And I have chopped off a part of his headband there, all right? So deselect and you get the idea, right? Because there's no way to do anything other than that. But there's a little trick is if you hold down the space bar while you're dragging, okay, your selection, you're able to move your selection around, okay? So let me show you. So I'll come in here and I'll deliberately make sure it's short. Now you can see I'm holding the space bar and you notice I'm able to move the selection around. Okay? And therefore I can get the selection exactly how I want it. Okay? So that's the trick. So when you're making selections, okay? So I'll do it again. I'll deliberately come in a little bit low on his head and I'll drag out. And I'll go, I didn't quite get it. Hold the space bar down, and now I can move that selection. And now the selection is moved into position, and I can go ahead and then make my changes. So, nice and easy. So remember, if you ever need to move a selection while you're making it, just simply hold the space bar down, and then drag it into position how you want your selection. Okay, next one. Next one is going to be dealing with Scrubby sliders. And I have to tell you, I love Scrubby sliders. Okay? So, they're everywhere within Photoshop. Everywhere where you have a dialog box and you have a value, visibility, or a percentage, or a font size, anything at all. So if I come up into this font and I go, okay, if I want to change the font, I can come up and do it that way. And say, okay, that's not right. Well, that's a little better, but it's not right. Let me go up to 72. No, that's still not right. And I have to do this over and over and over again to get the fonts to be the right size? Not without this, okay? Notice that when I move my cursor over the words next to the control, I get a hand. This is called a Scrubby slider, and they are literally everywhere within the interfaces of Photoshop. So if I click and drag to the right, I am Scrubby sliding and changing the font size. If I go left, I make the font size smaller. Okay? Now this is invaluable, powerful. It's one of my favorite tools within Photoshop. Okay? Because I can turn around and just grab and do it. And they're everywhere. Okay, so here I'm on the layer on the right side panel, and you'll notice I have opacity. Opacity, right? I can come in and I could change this manually, right? Change my opacity of the hello world. Or I can come back, right? And that works just fine. But if I just use the Scrubby sliders, which is the letters next to the control, I can do it by just dragging. Okay, I can reduce the thing just by using the Scrubbies. Bring it all the way back to 100. Okay, it's a wonderful, wonderful, powerful tool, and they are everywhere. They're in layers and menus, so forth. Anywhere you go, make sure you can turn around and do a Scrubby. All right. The next thing, quick exports. Okay, so quick exports. All right, so let's say I have this photo here and I want to just quickly shoot it out as a JPEG. Now, most people, they go, oh, okay. All right, here's a photo. I got to go up to File. I got to go to Export. Got to go save it for the web. Got to choose my settings. And then where it's going to go. Big, long process for a simple thing, right? I just want to quickly put this out as a JPEG. Okay, there's a hidden little thing in Photoshop to do just that. Take the layer and right-click. And you'll see Quick Export as JPEG right there. Click that, one click, you're exported. All right. Now, if yours doesn't say JPEG here, yours may say PNG, okay, for example, and that's because you get to set this how you prefer to work. I prefer to use JPEGs, but if you don't, you could come up to Photoshop, then go to Preferences, and then go to Export, okay? Now, you only got to do this once, all right? And you come here and select what your preferred format is. Do you prefer PNG? Do you prefer JPEG? Or do you prefer GIF? It's up to you. You could decide the quality at which it comes out, 100% quality, 85, whatever compression you want. You could decide whether it asks you where to save the file. You may say, no, I don't want to be asked. Just put it out, right next to the original file. So you don't even have to be prompted for that. It'll automatically convert it to sRGB for the web view. Okay? All this happens in a single click. So if I turn around and right click and hit Quick Export to JPEG, that's it. That's all I have to do. Everything else is handled. Okay? So that's a quick little tip. Quick Export. All right. Our next one. Okay. Duplicate. Duplicate anything, basically. A little known thing is on your keyboard, you have a key, either your Alt or Option key, depending on whether you're a PC or Mac. Okay? That's known as Duplicate Me. Okay? It'll duplicate anything. Layers, text, alternatives, everything will come out as duplicates. All right, so I'm going to put up a little dummy little thing here, a little smiley face. All right, so let's say I want to duplicate that, and I want to duplicate it, a whole bunch of them on the screen in different locations. All right, I just simply select the layer I want, and then turning around and holding the Alt or Option key, I just drag one out. That easy to duplicate. Want to do it again? Alt or Option. Alt or Option. Alt or Option. So you want to do this, and again, it works for everything. Okay, I'll just prove to you. I'll come to the text, and I will pull out the text, and I've duplicated the text. So the Alt or Option key is your friend. It'll speed up your workflow, and you'll find all kinds of uses for it. Okay, so again, when you want to duplicate something really fast, Alt or Option key and drag it. Okay, that brings us to our last tip. Okay, is we want to merge all the layers together as one, but we want to keep all our adjustment layers as well. Okay, that's called creating a stamp layer. And you'll have here, you notice I have a brightness, a black and white conversion, I got level adjustments, I got curves adjustment, all these things. I want to make one layer that's got everything stamped on it. And that's called a stamp conversion layer. So, how do we do that? Well, it's just a hidden shortcut that you just don't find anywhere in the menus. All right. It is Command or Control, depending on whether you're a PC or Mac. Command or Control plus Shift plus Alt or Option plus E. Okay. So I'm up here and I hit those keys, and lo and behold, now I have a stamp layer that has everything, all these adjustment layers combined into this one layer here our stamped layer. You'll be surprised how many times that's an advantage to you. The one single stamp layer. Now I can turn around and right click, and I can export it out. I could do some functions that I needed to have everything on one layer. Very, very useful. All right. So that's it. Those are your 5 top tips. So go in, play around, get comfortable with these things. My personal favorite, of course, is the Scrubby sliders. Okay. I'm going to show you just here this stamp layer we did here, and you'll notice there's the opacity. Okay. I can turn around and turn off all these things, and I could say, turn the opacity down, and I can just use a Scrubby slider. And there I'm reduce the opacity of that layer. I just absolutely love Scrubby sliders. Okay, so that's it today. So hopefully you find this useful. Till next week, you guys take care.